though. Josh Frydenberg, the Treasurer, and also Angus Taylor, the Energy Minister, speaking about the divestment power. This is the ability for the government to make big energy companies split up some of their assets if they're not playing ball, for example, on continuing assets and bringing down prices. It has gone through the party room, but it's a watered-down version. That means the federal court now has this power, not the Treasurer. Let's have a listen in.
Policies that were announced by Malcolm Turnbull, policies that have been announced by Scott Morrison, policies that a Liberal and National government are putting in place, which are putting downward pressure on prices, and that is in the gas market. That's with the passage of legislation through the Parliament to abolish the limited merits review, which, if Labor had done it previously, would have saved consumers $6 billion. Why didn't they do that? Is a question only they can answer, as well as the other activities that we are implementing, including setting a default offer. I'm not saying that at all. That's your words. What I'm saying is that we are putting in place policies that are putting downward pressure on prices. Now, if you want to know what the contrast is with our political opponents, it's very clear. They have a recklessly high 45% emissions reduction target. They haven't produced any modelling to say what the cost on the economy will be, but the Business Council of Australia has said that it will be an economy-wrecking target. So don't let Labor off the hook here. They are the alternative government of Australia. Bill Shorten is the alternative Prime Minister of Australia. He has to explain to the Australian people what the true cost of his recklessly high virtue signalling emissions reduction target. We know when they were last in government, electricity prices doubled. If they got their chance again, it would also increase substantially.
Your fellow NEG architect, Malcolm Turnbull, says that renewables are now unambiguously cheaper than coal. Could I ask you and the Energy Minister, do you agree with that? And will there be any support for coal-fired power stations under the underwriting plan?
Well, I'll throw to Angus, but the key point here is renewables are becoming increasingly competitive in price. That's obvious. And we've seen a flood of investment. We've seen more investment in renewables under the Liberal National government than we ever saw under the Labor Party. So again, that's an inconvenient truth for Bill Shorten. When it comes to the price of coal, you've got to distinguish between new coal and existing coal. Existing coal is actually very cost effective, and Labor's plan and their targets is going to shut down coal-fired power stations around the country and drive up costs, particularly for households and industrial customers. So they are selling out their blue-collar workers. They are selling out their union base. They are selling out the people of Australia because they are torn between their left-leaning, green-leaning voting base as well as the blue-collar workers on the right of their party.
So just to answer that question. So fuel sources, the investment in different fuel sources, they're investments decisions that are made by commercial people, and they will make them as they see fit. The important thing to keep in mind here is that for many years to come, we need balance across our electricity market, a balance of different fuel sources. That balance will change. There's enormous investment happening, $15 billion of investment happening right now in renewables, but coal will play a role, as will gas, in our electricity market for many years to come. Balance is the key, and that will ensure that we have the affordable, reliable power, 24/7 power that can keep the lights on and keep prices down.
Mr. Taylor, we'll take a couple more questions.
Mr.
Phil.
Taylor, on the negotiations you're having with power companies about providing 24/7 power for the short list, are any of them telling you they don't want to sign a contract until after the election?
So I'm not going to talk about the discussions I have with individual companies. What I will say is there's no shortage of interest in getting more supply into this market. A lot of it's already happening. We've got $15 billion of investment happening right now in the national electricity market, and that's good to see. We're going to need to ensure that we have enough of the reliable 24/7 power that can keep the lights on and keep prices down, and that will be about keeping a balance. That's what we want to see in the coming years.
Well, Andrew, we've made it clear the NEG is not the government's policy. What is the government's policy is a reliability guarantee, which Angus is pursuing effectively with the states. At the same time, Bill Shorten said of the NEG at the time, when the coalition was putting it forward, was saying it was a Frankenstein policy. That's what the alternative Prime Minister of Australia said, a Frankenstein policy. So he was purely playing politics. He was purely playing politics. Now he's looking for the NEG to give him cover for a recklessly high target. The issue in question is Labor's recklessly high 45% target. Don't give them a free kick, Andrew. Actually ask them the question, what is the cost of their policy? Where is their modelling? What will be the impact on agriculture? What will be the impact on the industrial sector? What will be the impact on the transport sector? And how high will the electricity emissions reduction need to be in order to get an economy-wide 45% target? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Their government.